What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. We're doing another deck profile on Based in Year. This is going to be the Dark Crobat Sneasel deck, and let's get straight into it. Just like all good Based in Year decks, we run for Cleffa. Absolutely good draw card with Eek, shuffle your hand into the deck, draw 7, and the Baby Power, just a wall off, just put it in the active, just to sit there, set up your board, and then free retreat, switch it out. Only downside is it does have 30 HP, so it can potentially just die like once the opponent flips heads. Or there's another way to get around this, and we're talking about this card, Dark Crobat. Okay, so we're on 4 Dark Crobat. Basically, his ability, Surprise Bite. Once you play this card to evolve your Dark Crobat to Dark Crobat, you do 20 damage to anything on the board. So basically a snipe card. So it gets through metal energy and it gets through the Baby Power. So the fact that Cleffa only has 30 HP, this already does 20 to it. Another one will just instantly kill it for 40. But if you want to be very specific and get the numbers right, you run Dark Crobat as well. You have to run this. There's no other Dark Crobat anyway, so in order to use Dark Crobats, you need it to evolve from Dark Crobat. So we run Dark 4 Dark Crobat. Basically the same effect. When you evolve the Zubat, you activate this effect, Sneak Attack, does 10 damage to something on the board. Like I said, it gets around metal energy, gets around the baby effect. So you know, each line here, it's 30 damage. So in total, we're looking at 120 damage across the board. So that's 4 Cleffas straight up dead. And you can see how degenerate this deck is. I don't think there's a specific Zubat that you need to run. I think this is the better one, unless you want to use the other Rocket Zubat that has a attack for 20. But I think Poison is a bit better because it does 10 in between turns, I think. So I feel like it's better than the other Zubat. So we run 4 Revelation Zubat, you know, to actually get all the prizes from your deck. We actually play this other card to support Dark Crobat, and that's Sneasel. We need something in the active that actually does damage in case this their active starts killing, starts killing your pokes and just sniping out your evolutions and stuff, and you just need to get rid of them. And that's why Sneasel complements the Dark Crobat so much. And this card is absolutely broken. We run 4 of it, and like, I don't understand, like in the games this poke is actually a Dark Ice type, so it's ×4 weak to fighting, but for some reason Wizards of the Coast and I don't know who else decided that it should have no weakness, and it's a dark type, so it can use the dark energy, which boosts its dark Pokemon's damage by 10. So this is already a 20 base attack, and it says flip a coin for each Pokemon in play. That means like you have 1 in the active and 5 out here. That's 120 damage plus the dark energy, just 140 damage. It's guaranteed 20 damage. So you're just basically killing everything, and not only that, it's a basic too. So you don't even have to evolve this thing, you just put it down and just start killing stuff. Obviously it's a coin flip, so there's a bit of luck involved, but you know, like 20 damage, unless you're using a rainbow with it, like you got 20 base damage from the dark energies alone. Is absolutely crazy. And the way they thought this would be like balanced is the fact that you can only run 4 darkness energies because there were special energies. There's no basic dark energies like in this format. So like that's how they thought they would balance this Sneasel, but it's absolutely disgusting because not only that you can run 4 dark energies to actually use its attack, you could also run 4 rainbow energies, and this is just a special energy deck. Like, so you have like 8 energy cards basically instead of like limited to 4. So that's it for the monsters and most of the energy cards. We do also run 4 recycle energy, and this is because we do run super energy removal. So if you actually attach this to Cleffa, use Eek, like maybe the next turn or something, you can discard this card and use the super energy removal, get rid of the energy, and you bring it back to your hand, and then you play it again. So it's just really like good with Cleffa in this deck, so that's why it's there. And to even get more deeper into this degeneracy, like, why not play Hyper Devolution Spray? Hyper Devolution Spray gets rid of the higher stage evolution from your hand. Basically, you get rid of the higher stage, put it back in your hand. You cannot you cannot place it back down on the same turn. The next turn you can play it again and do another 20 damage. So if you run 4 of these, you can snipe more than 4 Cleffas. You could potentially snipe 2 more Cleffas right here, and that's 6 prizes right there. And not only that, it is kind of restricted in a way where you can't just place it down straight away. Not only that, you can also run Super Scoop Up, which we run 3 of. But this is like kind of like luck based. You get to return all the cards if you flip heads, like, to your hand. So like you can scoop up your whole evolution line and then replay it. But you have to start from scratch with the Zubat, and you can't evolve it after you bench your Zubat, so you have to wait till next turn. It is a bit slower and also relies on luck. Sometimes this doesn't actually do anything, so it's just good, like cool to play if you want to snipe more Cleffas. So now we got our searchers. I do run 2 item finder. I'm meant to run 3. I just don't have any spares for this deck. So instead I run this one of computer search, and since we just run 1 computer search, why not use the A-spec, right, of this card. Basically discard 2 cards from your hand and pick up a trainer from your discard pile. This discard 2 from your hand, search anything from your deck, just put it in your hand. Good setup card, self-explanatory. And then our searches, we run 2 Bosses Way, 2 Good Manners. I used to run 4 Bosses Way, but I felt like I started clogging and breaking my hand, and I just could not, I don't know, I just had too many of these in my hand. Because, like, you know, this searches out your basics. It has a like kind of like a condition to it though. You have to have no basics in your hand. You show your hand too, so it gives knowledge, gives information to them, like for like what you're playing and what's in your hand. And then you can just find basics. Like normally you pick up a Cleffa, Sneasel, or Zubat. This gets any dark type, or dark in its name, so like Dark Crobat, Dark Golbat. I feel like sometimes you're gonna have a lot of the Dark Golbats and Crobats already in your hand or already on the board, so picking this up late game doesn't actually do anything, so it starts to brick. So having 4 of them would just be a massive fucking house because there's just so many bricks, right? So that's our search cards. 2 Good Manners, 2 Boss Way, and then our draw cards. We run our 2/2 line of 2 Oak, 2 Elm. Like I said in my Blastos video, Oaks, when you run 4, it's just it decks you out. Basically, when you run 4, you're just going through your deck like anything. And in this kind of deck, you don't want to even discard most of the cards anyway. You need it to be in your hand, ready to be played. So like if you were to do anything, I would say like go 3 Elm and 1 Oak. But yeah, so 2 Oak. The reason why you play 2 is there's a restriction towards the end. You can't play any more trainer cards after you play this card. And you don't discard your cards, you shuffle it back in your deck. So it's good to maintain your deck count, because you don't want to deck out as well. And we play some disruption cards, 2 Last and 1 Super Energy Removal. Super Energy Removal is just there for those metal energies. It's just so tanky, like Metal Mewtwo, just energy absorption, pick up like 2 metal energies, just super tanky. Even though this deck isn't really focused on attacking, it's more of like sniping the babies. Like it's probably usable somewhere for something. And 2 lash just to slow them down. You could also do a combo where it's like you play this, attach recycle, and then you use your lash, get rid of all your trainers, get rid of all their trainers, and then eat for 7 cards, and you're back like fully refreshed, while they have a handful of no trainers. And we run 2 Gust because all our pokes in this deck, like Zubat, Crobat, and Golbat and Cleffa and Sneasel, they all have 0 retreat, so it doesn't matter who they choose, you can just switch it back out. But the good thing about this card is you get to pick whatever card you want to send out on their side. So it's like a gust of wind, and it's more versatile. So you could just still run gust of wind. It's just that you have free retreat on every poke, so like you might as well have that secondary effect. Keep 1 poke flutes, 1 Erica's perfume. This is basically to bring back a Cleffa. Like once they know what you're doing, maybe like they weren't playing more Cleffas, maybe it's in the discard pile already, so this will bring it back out so you can re-snipe it. And Erica's perfume is the same, basically the same thing, but for the hand. So if they keep a Cleffa in their hands, they're putting it down, knowing that you play Crobat, you can play this, look at your opponent's hand, put a basic onto the board, and then you start sniping that. So there's many ways to hit that 6 prizes just with Crobat alone. Obviously, our recycle card, we need this in the deck just in case. Recycles 3 cards, evolutions, basic energies, or basic Pokemon from your discard pile, shuffle it back into your deck. And our last 2 cards in the deck, our Stadium, Rocket's Minefield. This card actually says put damage counters on the Pokemon, so it doesn't specifically say like how much damage counters, but it's meant to be 2 damage counters. So once they play a basic, they flip a coin. If it's tails, then they put 2 damage counters on it. So even if you don't do enough damage with Golbats, this will make up for it. Like you play 2 stadiums, most people play like 4 or 3, so they could potentially remove this pretty easily, but hopefully you can get some 20 damages here and there and then start sniping. I think if this is on the board, people won't play Cleffa onto bench. That's what I think. They probably play the other basics, but you know, if they play the other basics, they're probably like 40 to 50 HP. You could just like duck Golbat, duck Crobat them, and then yeah, finish them off. But yeah, that's basically it for the Dark Crobat Sneasel deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys liked the video, please subscribe. And I do have another Neo deck. I don't have a playmat for that deck though, so we might have to use either this one or my other one. But yeah, stay tuned. See you guys next time.